I was in third grade playing outside with my friends in the summer. It was one of the hottest days I remember. I have asthma, so it's really bad. And I actually passed out. And when I woke up, I was in an ambulance with my mom, and they were telling me it was too hot for me to be outside. And if I would have been outside even longer, I would have had a heat stroke.
Now, when you factor in that humidity, some spots will be over 108, some spots will be over 110.
The blistering heat wave blanketing the U.S.
When we talk about extreme heat, when we talk about the impacts of climate change, one of the ways that we are noticing this more recently and historically is that people are leaving their homes at unsafe temperatures.
I stayed in a senior high-rise apartment complex in its close proximity to downtown Atlanta. In the community, we have a garden, we have a picnic area, but those places are useless when it's 98 degrees outside. So that means we are stuck inside in our apartments.
I have a fear that we're not quite as prepared as we need to be in Atlanta. When we talk about populations who are most at risk, we're looking at the same communities that in many cases don't have the protection from tree canopy, have a lot of concrete, have had a lot of industrial development nearby, and don't have the natural cooling that green space gives us.
As we continue to experience these temperatures, as more and more people need refuge, it's always been hot in Atlanta.
My elders said to me, like, this is some of the hottest that I've ever witnessed.
If it gets too hot, then a lot of people are in danger. People are not aware of the dangers of the environment.
It was so hot that it was like affecting attendance to classes. The sheer amount of sunlight and heat also made people really, really tired. And on a campus as sprawling as Georgia Tech is, you need to be outdoors to get from place to place.
Exposure to extreme heat has been associated with a number of chronic disease conditions. People who already have chronic conditions might be more vulnerable to exposure to extreme heat.
Everybody here is born with asthma. I was born with asthma. You can ask any of my friends, they all have asthma. The air is already really bad, and then when you pair that with it being swelteringly hot outside, it literally feels like you're suffocating going outside sometimes.
We have less green spaces. There was no grass where I live. There are no trees where I live. There was no place to actually run away from the extreme heat unless you were inside. And AC is a privilege. You can't just have your AC running all the time.
There's a serious financial impact to residents when they live in older housing stock, when their homes are energy inefficient, meaning that when, say, window units or small heaters are being used,
we have to kick our AC up full blast all the time for it to do what it needs to do. So we're spending a lot of money on just energy costs to compensate for like the old infrastructure of the homes. I feel like it tends to be poorer people who don't have a built environment to be comfortable in, especially as the temperatures get crazy.
It's just like, what is this $800 bill?
I think what we have to do is make sure that those that are most vulnerable to energy burdens are made aware of the different programs that are available right now.
We need our teachers, we need our community members, we need people who are already in office. We need everyone on board to fight this issue before it gets worse than it already is.
And I encourage residents to build coalitions within these apartments, engaging with their management companies and ensuring that not only they're doing what's necessary to make the houses more habitable, more weatherized, you know that they have the backing of the city of Atlanta.
it doesn't matter if people have degrees in science or have been formally trained. They can all play some role in helping to raise the awareness about critical issues impacting our communities.
As Chief Sustainability Officer at the city, we are really focused in on the cooling centers. We're called the city and a forest, and we know that trees help shade, keep cities cool, but they also keep our infrastructure cool. And when our infrastructure is cooler, we don't have to ramp up our mechanical systems. And as we move towards a more comprehensive climate resilience action plan, we need to have voices from those historically marginalized communities.
We gotta all come together some kind of way and come up with solutions so your grandchildren will have some place to live.
I would love for Atlanta to be a place that's comfortable, a place that's livable, and a place that's prepared